To give a clear perspective of the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast and the government's response, the military and Borno state government opened its doors to show how it has coped with the de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration of former Boko Haram fighters and their families back into the society. Our Rise Defense correspondent Ferdinand Duruoha has this report.
A fundamental subject of concern is what kind of medical assistance is given and available to victims who were abducted and possibly spent time in terrorist enclave. At the heart of this report is the allegation that there is a state-sponsored attempt at population control. They even say abortion is involved to ensure that children who are conceived in terrorist enclaves are not put to bed into the Nigerian society. This informed a tour by journalists to various military facilities in Borno State, where rescued persons and surrendered insurgents and their families are kept. We begin at the Joint Investigative Center, Maiduguri in Borno State. The center was established to carry out investigations on suspects arrested in the ongoing war against insurgency and terrorism in the Northeast. Here, suspects who are arrested, rescued or released at the front line are investigated, screened and categorized. During their stay, they are creatively engaged in skills acquisition and catered for. Caesar is a medical assistant at the center and gives us a small tour of the facility.
Yeah, I think it's a normal public health practice that we follow here. Once an inmate is taken in here and we discover that he's pregnant, the first thing we do, we still do confirmation tests from 7-day hospital. And we register such if she's pregnant on antenatal. And we follow through with the appointment they're giving to us by attending the antenatal sections, follow the scanning and every other thing that the gynecologist said.
Our next point of call is the Hajj camp in Maiduguri. The camp has now been reconstructed to house over 5,500 former fighters and their families, while they undergo the radicalization, demobilization and rehabilitation. It also has a medical facility where we learned that 252 children were delivered within the months of July to November.
So we have female children, we have 150. Yes. Then males, we have 102. Female, total number of 252.
At the Bulumkutu Interim Care Center, journalists are introduced to some special guests. Housed here are 13 of the Chibok schoolgirls rescued within the last 2 years by the Nigerian military. 24 years old Rejoice Senki was rescued in September 2022. Rejoice says she was forcefully married off to one of the terrorists named Musa. She narrates her escape from captivity and reintegration back to the society.
Yes, sir, we thank God because we don't know that we will come here and see our parents or our village or city because the God is the best. If you believe with God, whatsoever you want, God will give you. The first thing, the Boko Haram take us in school, they punish us, they do whatsoever they want to us, but God is here. That's why most of us is not here because the Cherokee already killed them. But most of us, they bring them. Boko Haram and our army change with themselves. They don't have children, but we now we come. Most of us we have 3 children, 2 children. Even me, I have 2 children. One.
The military authorities have recently been accused of forceful population control through abortions and killings by a non-governmental organization. But the military has denied the act, and during this tour, shared their perspectives with journalists on the false allegations.
Now for the camps, you can imagine 82,000. I mean, if any town, I don't know how many villages we have that have up to 82,000. It's not a small number. So naturally, the 3 camps have been overfilled, definitely. But the state government is trying because they have to feed them, they have to provide amenities, provide medical and all those things. It's not easy. The state governor, frankly speaking, for anything, I think the state has been very, very lucky because he has been somebody who has been determined even before they started surrendering. So even when he came in, it was also an added responsibility to him. We have requested the federal government to also step in, to come in, because we needed a DDR program where, since all of them, from the profiling, not everyone is part of is a terrorist. Not everyone. Some of them were conscripted. Because if they capture a village, they turn every male there to be a fighter. And then the women for logistics. That's how they were operating. So that's how it is. And then some of them were born there, they didn't know. So when they come, we try to isolate this. And then the state government does some level of deradicalization. And then with the communities, because we told them it's important for us to have a closure, the communities must be part of it, because whatever it is we're doing, if the communities don't take them back in, we're not succeeding.
In the 13 years of the insurgency, the Northeast has been home to over 250 NGOs. Although some of the NGOs have played essential roles, security analysts say they are a vital element in the chain of what they term the economy of insurgency. Some critics allege there is an international conspiracy to ensure that the insurgency in the Northeast does not come to an end, and that some NGOs are at the heart of it. This meeting, organized by the Theater Commander of Operation Hadim Kai in Maiduguri, involving NGOs and the media, does not yield much fruits.
I think I'm not, and I'm concerned that maybe this group will not easily be able to address or answer all the questions that are asked here today. And that's for a number of different reasons.
The military operations continue to record successes amidst the charge that the war is being prolonged unnecessarily. There is a call for more cooperation between civil society organizations, the military, federal and state governments on how to ensure that normalcy is restored in the shortest time within the Northeast region. Ferdinand Duruoha, Arise News.
Fantastic reporting there by Ferdinand Duruoha.
Yes,
Thankfully,
indeed.
we have him live here.
Arise Defense correspondent Ferdinand Duruoha now joins us to give us another life experience. In the IDP's camp, what, in brief, what did you see the program of de-radicalization, rehabilitation, integration, and we saw that Chibok lady there.
First things first, over 82,000 of them spread across different facilities. Now we went to about 3 of them. We started with the Joint Investigative Center. Now that's a place where they keep, when you come in, when you are arrested, when you are arrested, particularly, they bring you in and then put you in that place. Now in that center, you have all the security agencies there who have supplied their own people with intelligence, and then they investigate and then find out where exactly do we send this person to. Now lots of people there are more hardened, and then you go there, you see that yes, the security situation there is more intense. Now that's for the investigative center. Well, after aside that, they also have some other facilities where for example the Bulumkutu Center is where where we found unaccompanied children. Hundreds of them, children who were found in the bushes without parents, children who were rescued without parents, nobody. Well, we hear that people across Northeast and then even from the North Central zones come there to look for, look for their children, and some of them did find theirs. And then also the Hajj camp, which is about the biggest. Now in that facility, over 14,700 of them. 3,500 families, and talking about the males, well, about 5,000 of them. Well, those who are married, they stay in a small tent with their family in one facility. And quite interesting when you see exactly the places where they live. Not habitable at all, but so much pressure on the Borno State government talking about resources. How do you take care of these persons? Well, aside resources,
there's a commission that is supposed to assist, to intervene, the Northeast Development Commission. So what are they doing with the several billions?
That's exactly what, one of the soundbite there from, the general, who did say they're waiting for the federal government to come in. Governor Zulum and his team, they've done a whole lot more than any other governor. Yes, quoting them right now. Right. And, you go there, you see on ground that there are efforts, skill acquisitions and others, but it's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
when you have over 5,000 men in one place, people, ex-combatants. There's so much. But then the good thing is,
is this a disaster waiting to happen? And why did it even become necessary for the army to open their doors to allow us to see, goings on?
For one reason,
right?
They can't kill everybody, and they shouldn't kill everybody. Now, Nigeria is a signatory to lots of, lots of conventions, and by that, it's very clear. When people surrender, you don't kill them. You don't kill prisoners of war. Well, in combat, you can go all out to, neutralize them. But then when they surrender, you have to prepare for something. For those who are very hardened, like we hear, there are plans to take them, to Jiwa, where the facility is, where we keep, it's for like our, where we keep our own, hardened criminals. And then for those, lots of them, let's not forget, lots of these people, how old is the war right now? Is the insurgency. It's about 13 years. Now, some of them were 5, some of them were 6, some of them were 7, not up to the age of reason. And the only thing they saw, Shekau handing guns, handing them guns, and then they go straight into the battle. The Boko Haram and the other insurgents come in, they ransack villages, they take everybody, the women's become, help with logistics, cooking and others, their children, very well. After 4 or 5 years, they give them weapons. We cannot judge these people and decide to waste them all.
This DDR program, how successful really is it? And how confident really should communities be that these people can be reintegrated?
Yeah.
Now that's a basic. Now that's one of the basic, functions. What we try to research, and we visited some of these villages. And then we also did, visit the Shehu of Borno. Well, after speaking with some of the village heads, we decided to go to him. How has Borno State reacted to reintegration? Now, it's not easy. You know that some of these people might have helped 1 or 2 people who come in and then kill your people. But to a large extent, we must give them kudos. Now, this is something that did affect almost everybody.
Let's just quickly look at this issue, being leveled against the Nigerian military, that they are systemically eliminating or exterminating children, pregnant women, and stuff like that. And yet we have
population control.
And yet we have NGOs who've paid rent ahead, 15 years ahead and the rest. So they don't want this insurgency stuff to end. Tell us.
Now, these are allegations and counter allegations, but there are some things that are basic that we all must, try to understand. Perhaps when we understand them, we can be able to predict, the situation. I know for those of us who do not own houses, we do not pay up to 10 years rent.
No.
A man who pays a man who pays rent 10 years ahead, first of all, has no plan to leave. Absolutely. Now that's the situation we have with some of these NGOs, and that's exactly the reason why lots of people are, asking questions. How come you don't want to go?
Yeah, but beyond asking,
beyond that, we must indeed say
international conspiracy here.
That's the thing. We must indeed say that we did see, and then obviously we must, give some of them kudos for some of the efforts that they have actually put on ground. But then, the military and the Nigerian government have gone far in terms of trying to I was in Maiduguri, and then the last time I was there, I know exactly how tense it was. But this time around, the nightlife have even returned. You go to markets. You see, the population in the market. People willing to do business. So to a large extent, you can see that life is gradually going back to a degree. And then you want to ask questions about the NGOs. They are all still coming here and there. And then when you talk about the allegation, allegations of abortions and all that, well, that's exactly why we went into those camps. Before we did see people giving birth. We did see the statistics, 98 of them in August, about 90 something of them in July. Come on, don't worry yourself. Wow. They've got nothing to do, women and men. What exactly?
Ferdinand, that's a good place to leave it. Thank you very much.
All right.
We'll have to leave it there. Very serious issues, being raised there.
Absolutely.
Okay.